Very quickly, Sossion, if you can tell us what is the situation so far, because early morning you were one of those who had raised their voice with regard to the pre-marking of ballot boxes at Tenwek High School.
Yeah, of course, pre-marking of ballot papers is enough cause. It's enough reason to cause worry, and we pumped into pre-marked ballot papers, and those were traced to a number of polling stations. And you remember we petitioned the party headquarters, and through the direct intervention of the party leader and the presidential candidate of UDA himself, we have been able to isolate polling centers where there were issues, and those polling centers shall be handled separately, and voting has been suspended in those particular polling stations, and I think there are about 4. But for the rest of the counties, where the rest of the polling centers, where we confirmed through our agents that there was actually nothing really to complain about. That the process in quite a number of the polling stations was above board. Then we've had to accept the polling to go on in the stations where there are no issues. Absolutely. But Leto, any indication of rigging of elections and that which was associated with some of the aspirants who have tried to penetrate the process right from appointing or influencing the appointment of presiding officers and clerks. And it's known, the incumbent governor and another senatorial candidate. We want to tell them that there are no shortcuts in democracy. Democracy is one man, one vote. And with the assurance of protection of the process from the National Election Board and the party leader himself, then we are urging residents to turn up, those who have not turned up, turn up and cast your vote so that your vote can count on the end of the day. But nevertheless, we remain very vigilant for any malpractice during the vote tallying, during the vote counting in all the polling stations, and we have urged our polling agents to be very alert. And in case of any impropriety that constitutes rigging and interference of democratic process in these primaries of one man, one vote, then they should not sign up with the results. We are also very keen to see that what goes on in the tallying centers are also above board, both at the constituency tallying centers and at the county tallying centers.
Talking of tallying center, Mr. Sossion, yes. Already time is closing in to the close of polling stations. Yes. And how many polling stations or centers in particular that you don't expect to see at the tallying center, owing the main tallying center, owing to the irregularities that you say has been isolated?
Out of 523, the election board has identified and agreed that 4 polling stations could not continue with elections because there are a lot of interference and violence around the movement of ballot papers and of course interference. But 519 polling stations are going on smoothly, and we are getting credible information from our agents that of course polling is going on smoothly.
And so, by the close of the exercise, will you be confident and contented with the results that will come out of this exercise?
You know, this is a process. The struggle continues through the process. When shall all the polling stations close? And of course, we've urged voters to vote and stay not very far from the polling centers to ensure that there is no rigging. The real rigging can take place during vote counting, and that is the most critical phase of this election. So we are not out of the woods yet, and we would want to prepare for another rigorous exercise of vote counting and ensuring that nobody plays with the ballots that have been cast, either by inflating or introducing strange ballot papers, because we have seen pre-marked papers which are out there. We don't want anybody to sneak in strange ballot papers, because if that is done, then it's going to invite a lot of resistance from the people of Bomet. If anybody tries to alter the genuine votes counted in all the polling stations through transmission to the